Most men don't expect this to be the problem. They expect blood flow issues, they expect hormones, they expect aging, but they don't expect to hear sex just doesn't matter anymore from their partner. And when they do, it lands hard, not because of the act itself, but because it feels like a door quietly closing. And once that door feels closed, most men don't know whether to knock or walk away. Here's what I have learned after decades of seeing couples in this stage of life. The partner gap rarely starts with a declaration. It starts with smaller shifts, a few failed attempts, a little discomfort, a moment of embarrassment, or maybe a night where initiation felt more like pressure instead of play and fun. Then someone pulls back, not dramatically, but just enough, and then the other partner feels it. And by the time someone says, maybe this just isn't important anymore, the gap has usually been building for years. But that one sentence almost never means what it sounds like. It usually means this feels complicated, or it feels very uncomfortable. I don't know how to make this good again. And instead of saying that out loud, people simplify it and they minimize it. Let me pause here because this is where many couples get stuck. When sex becomes unpredictable, painful, pressured, or disappointing, withdrawal somehow feels very protective, not cold, not indifferent, but protective. And protection can look like lower desire. It can look like avoidance. It can look like saying it just doesn't matter anymore. But underneath it is usually a nervous system that no longer feels safe. And if something doesn't feel safe, our desire shuts down. On the other side of the gap is the partner who maybe still wants connection. He stops initiating because the rejection stings. He stops bringing it up because it feels like some kind of nagging. And he starts questioning whether wanting sex at this age somehow makes him selfish. This internal dialogue creates distance long before the partner names it. And when distance becomes normal, silence replaces curiosity. That's the real problem, not the libido. It's the silence. So what actually bridges the gap? Not convincing, not persuading, not proving that sex is still important. But bridging the gap starts with changing the question. Many couples ask, why don't you want sex? That question triggers defense immediately. And maybe a more useful question is, what has sex felt like lately for you? See how that invites a description instead of justification? Or here's another shift. Instead of saying, we never do this anymore, why not try, I miss feeling close to you? That expresses the longing instead of the blame. These are small shifts in language, but they regulate our nervous system. And when we have a regulated nervous system, we're better able to have honest conversations. Sometimes the gap may uncover something medical, pain with intercourse, hormonal changes, medication side effects, erectile dysfunction, unpredictability. Sometimes it covers something more about the relationship, maybe unspoken resentment, body image changes, self-esteem, fear of aging. But almost never is it simply that intimacy no longer matters. What usually matters is not knowing how to approach it without hurting each other. I've seen couples in their 70s connect in ways that surprised them too. Not because they chased youth, but because they replaced silence with a curiosity. Because curiosity is safer than accusation. And safety is what allows desire to reappear. If you're living in this type of a partner gap, I want you to understand something. Wanting intimacy at 70, it's not inappropriate. And stepping back when something feels uncomfortable is not rejection. Both responses make sense, but the real question isn't who is right. It's whether the silence between you is helping either of you. Because your partner gaps don't close through pressure, and they close when two people feel safe enough to tell the truth, that's usually something that begins with one different sentence. One sentence about honesty, about experience, about how you're feeling, not about accusation or blame.